Have you ever noticed how guys can sometimes pull a vanishing act in relationships, especially during the dating phase? It's baffling, right? One minute, everything's clicking, sparks are flying, conversations flow effortlessly, and it feels like there's real potential for something more. Then, poof, he ghosts without a trace. Not because he's off saving the world or got lost in the wilderness. No, he just fades away, often without even a half-decent explanation. If you've been through this, you're not alone. It's a common puzzle in the dating world, and today we're diving deep into why this happens, and more importantly, what you can do to navigate it or even prevent it from derailing your love life. Let's start by unpacking the basics. Sometimes the disappearance isn't about you at all, it's a sign of immaturity on his end. Picture this: you've met someone who seems promising. Dates are fun, he's attentive, and things progress naturally. But as soon as the word commitment lingers in the air, even unspoken, he bolts. Immature guys treat relationships like a scary movie. They jump at the first sign of depth. They're the types who fear spiders or heights, but nothing terrifies them more than the idea of emotional vulnerability or long-term plans. These are the fellows who'd rather hide behind a stack of groceries in the supermarket than face an awkward run-in after a breakup. It's almost comical, but it's real. Think about it. Immature men often live in a world where minimal effort gets maximum rewards. They might charm their way into your life for the excitement or physical connection, but when it comes to building something solid, they're out. And honestly, if he disappears because of that, consider it a bullet dodged. You don't want someone who's still figuring out basic adulting in your corner for the long haul. But here's the thing, not all vanishing acts come from immaturity. Sometimes even decent, seemingly mature guys pull away, and that's where things get interesting because it might involve patterns or mistakes on both sides that escalate the situation. One major reason this happens stems from a subtle imbalance in how interest and effort are expressed early on. A lot of people, let's focus on the dynamic where you're the one investing more, base their actions on their own feelings rather than mirroring his level of interest. It's human nature. You like him a ton, so you pour in extra energy to keep things going strong. You clear your calendar for spontaneous dates, send thoughtful texts, maybe even plan special surprises like a home-cooked meal or picking out something nice to wear, all because the chemistry feels electric and you don't want to lose that momentum. But here's the trap. When your effort outpaces his, it sends mixed signals. He might start feeling like he's on a pedestal he hasn't earned, or worse, sense your fear of losing him, which can make things feel off balance. Suddenly, jealousy creeps in, or you find yourself acting needy, checking in too often, overanalyzing his responses. It's like an avalanche starting with a single snowball. For example, imagine you're excited about a weekend getaway idea, but he's been flaky with plans lately. Instead of matching his low-key vibe, you push harder to make it happen, rearranging your life around his schedule. He shows up late, half-dressed in yesterday's outfit, and you're serving up a gourmet dinner. Deep down, he knows he hasn't put in the work to deserve that level of investment, and it can make him pull back, questioning if this is moving too fast or if the dynamic feels unequal. Why does this freak guys out? Because it flips the natural pursuit dynamic. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual chase, both sides showing interest proportionally. When one person overinvests based solely on their emotions, it can come across as desperation, even if it's just enthusiasm. And guys, especially those who aren't fully immature but still cautious, might interpret that as pressure. They disappear not because they hate you, but because the intensity feels overwhelming or unearned. To counter this, flip the script. Always gauge your investment by his actions, not just your feelings. Respect yourself first and foremost. The more butterflies you feel, the more vigilant you need to be about maintaining balance. Never fear being without him. That mindset keeps you grounded and authentic. If he cancels last minute or goes radio silent for days, don't chase with complaints or pleas. Indifference is your ally here. Pull back your attention. Focus on your own life, friends, hobbies. Immature types will bail because they crave easy wins without effort, but quality guys, they'll step up. They admire self-respect, boundaries, and someone who values themselves enough not to settle for scraps. Let me illustrate this with a relatable scenario. Suppose you're dating someone for a few weeks and it's going great. He's planning dates, responding promptly, talking vaguely about future trips. Then his texts slow down. He blames work or stress. Instead of bombarding him with what's wrong or bending over backward to accommodate, you respond casually and fill your time elsewhere. Maybe hit the gym, catch up with friends, or dive into a new book. If he's worth it, he'll notice the shift and reinvest. If not, you've saved yourself from a one-sided chase. This approach weeds out the flakes and attracts those who match your energy. Now, expanding on that, let's talk about emotional triggers. Fear of loss is a powerful thing, but when it's one-sided, it poisons the well. Studies in relationship psychology, think attachment theory, show that anxious attachment styles often lead to overinvestment, creating a push-pull dynamic where the other person feels smothered. Secure people, on the other hand, maintain their independence, which ironically draws partners closer. So, practice that. Build a life so fulfilling that no single person can upend it. Journal your feelings, talk to trusted friends, or even meditate on why you fear abandonment. Over time, this builds resilience, making you less likely to overcompensate. Another angle: communication styles play a huge role. Some guys disappear because indirect signals go unnoticed. If you're hinting at wanting more commitment without saying it outright, he might misread the room and assume everything's casual. But if you stay true to matching effort, clear communication follows naturally. For instance, after a few solid dates, you could say something light like, "I'm enjoying this. Where do you see it going?" Gauge his response and adjust accordingly. No need for games, just honesty backed by self-assurance. Shifting gears to the second big mistake: tolerating too much inconsistency. This is where many strong, independent people trip up because love clouds judgment. You might be with someone who seems perfect on paper, ambitious, charming, fun, but their actions scream disinterest. They make time for everything except you: work binges, golf outings, guys' nights, but dates? Squeezed in sporadically, like 4 times a month if you're lucky. You rationalize it: he's busy building his career, or things will change once we're official. But deep down, you're settling for crumbs, hoping the full loaf shows up eventually. High tolerance for this behavior is like slowly boiling a frog. You don't notice how unhappy it's making you until it's too late. Threatening to leave might buy a temporary fix. He ramps up effort for a week or two, then reverts. It's a cycle that erodes your self-worth. Why do guys disappear in these scenarios? Because they can. If you're sticking around despite the neglect, why change? It signals that their minimal input is enough, and when they sense you're finally fed up, they might ghost to avoid confrontation. The fix? Lower that tolerance threshold dramatically. As soon as patterns of inconsideration emerge, repeated flakiness, excuses over actions, address it once calmly, then act. Don't beg or play hard to get, just prioritize yourself. If he says, "I can't see you for the next 2 weeks," respond with, "No worries, enjoy your time," and mean it. Delete the contact if needed, and move on. You're not abandoning potential, you're recognizing reality. Dreaming about what could be ignores what is, and what is might be a partner who's proving they're not capable of making you happy. Consider this extended example. A friend of mine, smart, successful career woman, dated a high achiever for over a year. He wined and dined her initially, but soon it was all excuses. She'd plan elaborate dates, he'd show up distracted. She tolerated it because of the spark, but eventually the disappearances started. Unreturned calls, canceled plans. When she finally walked away without drama, she realized how much energy she'd wasted. Months later, she met someone who matched her effort from day one, and it flourished. The lesson: low tolerance filters out the unworthy quickly. To build this mindset, set non-negotiables early. What are your deal breakers? Time together weekly, consistent communication, write them down. When red flags wave, don't ignore them for chemistry's sake. Remember, affection from a mismatched partner is like fast food, tempting but unsatisfying long-term. Even a pet goldfish offers more reliable companionship than someone who's perpetually unavailable. Diving deeper, cultural factors influence this too. Society often portrays men as commitment-phobic, but that's a stereotype. Many guys crave deep connections. They just need to see you're not settling for less. Media bombards us with rom-coms where persistence wins, but reality check: chasing someone uninterested leads to burnout. Instead, foster self-love through routines, exercise, therapy, hobbies that remind you of your value. This radiates confidence, which is magnetic to the right people. Another reason guys vanish: unresolved past baggage. Maybe he's fresh from a breakup and dives in too soon, only to realize he's not ready. Or commitment triggers old fears from childhood or previous relationships. While you can't fix his issues, recognizing signs like vague future talk or hot-cold behavior helps you exit gracefully. Don't take it personally, it's his journey. What if it's external stress, job loss, family issues? Valid, but if he disappears instead of communicating, that's a red flag. Mature partners lean in during tough times, not out. Encourage open dialogue early. Hey, if something's up, let's talk about it. If he can't, it's telling. To prevent disappearances altogether, focus on vetting early. On first dates, observe actions over words. Does he follow through, listen actively, plan ahead? Red flags like living in the hills, code for avoiding responsibility, or evasive answers about basics scream immaturity. Ask fun, probing questions. What's your idea of a great weekend? His response reveals priorities. Building on that, healthy pacing is key. Don't rush intimacy or labels. Let things unfold organically while maintaining boundaries. If he pulls away, mirror it. Don't fill the void. This creates space for him to pursue or reveals he's not interested. In long-term dating, disappearances can signal burnout. If routines get stale, inject novelty, new activities, surprises, but only if effort's mutual. If not, reassess. Ultimately, the power lies in your hands. By never fearing solitude, matching investments, and enforcing low tolerance for neglect, you create a filter that lets in the good and ejects the rest. Bad matches vanish on their own. Great ones stick around and thrive. To recap, recognize immaturity as a favor when it leads to ghosting. Avoid overinvesting based on your feelings alone. Mirror his effort. Cultivate fearlessness about being single. It's empowering. And drop tolerance for ongoing flakiness. Life's too short for half-hearted connections. Implement these, and you'll navigate dating with confidence, attracting relationships that last. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. If you've experienced this, know it's common, but with awareness, you can turn the tide.